welcome to Lionheart Dreamweaving. Today I have for you a very special Eclipse portal 6-month energy reading. So right now, at the time that I'm recording this, we are just exiting through an eclipse season where it's climaxing, right now, and we're coming out the other side. So the kind of energy we're going through right now is going to be setting the theme for the next 6 months of our lives until the next eclipse cycle. Okay, so this is going to also be a timeless reading though, so it can be relevant to you potentially whenever you find this reading, whenever you stumble upon it in the future. You can just apply it to 6 months ahead of the moment that you're watching this, okay? Yeah, so what I have for you, I have here 5 different piles. Each one of them has I've pre-picked an oracle card. We're going to live shuffle some tarot cards here, and I'll show you real quick. You can choose one pile, or if you feel drawn to, you can choose multiple piles. And here we have on the first pile this cat. Okay. Then on this second pile, we have Penguin, Mr. Penguin. And then on the third pile, we have money bags. On the fourth pile, we have the dog. Yes. On the fifth pile, we have the car. Okay. So go ahead, you can look in the timestamps and click the timestamps of whatever pile or piles that you feel drawn to watch. And I will see you there. Hello, all of you chose pile number 1, this lovely little kitty cat. We are going to look at the themes here coming from the eclipse season for you. So the themes for the next 6 months. This is an oracle card from the elemental oracle deck, and it's going to be like overall energy and overall theme, and then we're going to get some more cards to clarify it. So you have darkness with the moon. Okay. Oh, and we're talking the moon. We're talking about the eclipse season. Ooh. Oh, it's interesting. Okay. Yeah. It's a full solar eclipse. So right now it's like, and it's actually a blood moon at the moment. So that's really interesting. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna read from this little booklet here first, and then we're going to go into some freestyle card pulling and interpretation. All right. So it says here, okay, darkness. There are cycles to everything and a season for everything. Do not push yourself when the tides are against you. Do not be afraid of the darkness, as the darkness is as necessary as the light. Rest and repair. The divine feminine in all her forms is rising. The time for introversion, stability, and planning is here. Word of power. Lysa. Ancient Norse. Illuminate in darkness. The moon has had an unshakable pull on human imagination since we were able to stand up on our own hind legs and look at it. Some of the earliest cave artworks feature it, and it has been particularly linked with feminine energies and the feminine divine. The typical human menstrual cycle length is the same length as a lunar cycle. We know the luteinizing hormone, lut means light, that triggers ovulation is highly triggered by all light, but especially by moonlight. Goddesses of the moon are featured in almost all polytheistic religions, and many such as Diana, Artemis, Selene, Chandi, Ariarad, and Rati are still worshipped today. Moon energy is flowful and changeable, just as the moon's gravitational pull influences the great ocean tides. It's also stabilizing. After the Big Bang and the formation of planets such as the Earth, our planet had no moon. It spun wildly, which meant very short days and nights, and it was quite unstable, resulting in extremes of temperature. It is believed that a Mars-sized planet collided with the Earth, and the impact of which sent chunks of the planet off into orbit and gradually formed our moon. The moon began to have such an effect on the Earth, with its gravitational pull slowing the rapid rotation of the young Earth and giving it greater stability. There were less speed wobbles. Among the many consequences of this, days and nights became longer and more consistent, and distinct seasons were born. These seasons tempered the extremes of the planet, and it became one that eventually harbored life. These facts illustrate how we can be personally affected by the moon and seasons. By following the moon's cycles and working with them, we can discover a new layer of stability within the body, mind, and spirit. The element is air. Okay, interesting. So there's going to be something here key for you in the next cycle about, well, first of all, yes, connecting to the divine feminine, and something about not over striving, over pushing, just going with the cycles and seasons of things, and potentially need for rest and repair as necessary, right? Okay, but now I'm going to shuffle some tarot cards here and pull some more cards here to add to this message. Some more details and context. What's the next 6-month cycle here for pile number 1? Next 6-month cycle for pile number 1. Themes for the next 6-month cycle. Ooh, oh, the source. Oh, it's kind of like the sun and the moon. Interesting. We were talking about the eclipse as well. Ooh, wow. Okay. Wait, I'll pull one more here though. Still. Let's see. Whoa, long way off the table. Hold on. All right. Okay. And understanding. Interesting. All right. So, well, this is a very so far very yin yang kind of energy here. I feel like, yeah, you have this you got very much clearly the sun and moon energy, and then a sort of understanding of you're coming into a new perspective of how to kind of go in balance with the natural Tao, or the natural flow of these cycles, right? Because here what the understanding card shows is there's these bars, you could see there's kind of almost like there was bars of the cage that were trapping this bird, but kind of the bars were actually their mind or their belief system, or some type of self-imposed limitation in a way, right? Or something. So there's a level here of well, it kind of implies, the understanding card implies a new level of freedom in life, that a liberation through, which comes through understanding, through a level of understanding. Oh wow, okay. Whoa, I just pulled the Queen and King of Cups there. Interesting. Wow, so there's a kind of in line here, so there's a feminine line here and then a masculine kind of line here. So this is actually really beautiful. This is like coming like really, really into like a deep level of emotional balance here. Um, Now, depending on your personal circumstances, uh, well, this could, so here's the thing. So this could reflect like both internally or externally. Like it's actually kind of both, or like when you reach this level of like balance, emotional, like kind of like balance and stability and flow internally, then it will sooner or later reflect in your external as well. But um, yeah, so there's like an interesting kind of thing here with because we're talking about like the moon and the kind of the feminine here and the like the cycles and how that kind of brought like um, a level of stability to the earth here. Um, and then you have like the king and the queen of cups. So this like the way I understand the king and queen would be like they're both sort of masters of the domain. So that would be the emotional element. But they're just like different in their orientation towards it. Mm, like so, but this is coming into like balance and mastery with both the masculine and the feminine aspect of navigating this element. And this actually is also a cups card here. So this would be the knight, or wait, the page, I believe, actually. Yeah, I want to say that's the page of cups. Yeah. Um, so it's kind of like that would imply that this understanding is like a sort of fresh evolution, or like yeah, that you're sort of reach in this new cycle here. It's coming about like reaching a level of internal um, emotional uh, well, I don't want to say stability, but I want to say like a certain level of like maturity with it, right? At a certain level of like harmony and balance with like the cycles of nature and existence. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're not like in resistance against the flow of ebbs and flows of life, like you flow with them. And it kind of gives you this like effortless power in a way. Yeah. That's kind of the source energy here. Like, would you connect to that? All right, so I'm going to clarify it. It's still here. One more. Let's see. This understanding. Oh, okay. We got two. This is all cups energy. Oh my gosh, look at this. Two more cups cards came out. Got 10 of cups and 4 of cups. Okay. Oh, wow. All right. So this put the whole thing into a different perspective. All right. So this is the all right. All right. This is important. Okay. Let me get into this. So you got two kind of very contrasting energies being presented here. So you have the 10 of cups here. This is like, all right, so this is the 10 of cups is interesting. So this is like the kind of pinnacle, like climax of this like cups energy, this emotional, this love, this like, yeah, love. So like this would be like kind of love in the more romantic kind of sense, and like human, like love, human emotion, that kind of thing, like what you have for your partner or family, that kind of thing. But this is sort of like divine, sort of like unconditional love, or sort of the ideal of love in a way. Yeah. Um, Interestingly. Um, and then you have here this other one that says, it's such a sad combination in a way. So because this is a 4 of cups here. So this is like this person here is kind of like mourning or kind of distraught about all their spilled cups and the things, you know, mm, things that go wrong in life, or right, with the sad emotions, the loss, the grief, right? Um, so there's a kind of really interesting dynamic here of like the sort of, yeah, the more like idealistic and dreamy and like uh yeah, connecting with this like source of like divine love here, like unconditional love, the sort of like fabric of existence kind of love, and then this sort of like part of the human self that can feel like very disconnected from all of that sometimes, right? But then that's the cool thing about this reading actually is there's like it's clarifying this understanding card, so it's like coming to that understanding that like can liberate you from like that sort of like trap of it in a way, like yeah, because like ultimately like you are sort of connected to this source like at all times, right? Like and you are just sort of like going with the like ebbs and flows of things. Yeah, wow. And it's sort of like you just like coming into this like next cycle a level of like emotional maturity where you sort of can like nurture and hold yourself through like all of these different like emotional cycles that just kind of naturally like come and go, right? Yeah. Wow. That's really kind of beautiful. I like that. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say here about this one, so I'm going to end it here. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope this is helpful or interesting, entertaining to you in some way. And if so, please click the like button and feel free to comment down below. I always like reading your comments. And subscribe if you're new to the channel. Welcome. And yeah, see you around. Hello and greetings to those of you who chose pile number 2 with this little business penguin guy. All right, so we're going to start with your oracle cards here. These are going to be kind of like the overall theme, and then I'm going to do live shuffle some tarot cards here to add some more context and details. And actually, you all got 2 of these cards. I'm just going to roll with it, but yeah. I'm going to read these out of the little booklet here before going into freestyle interpretation. Okay, so you have here clarity with the mountain and bravery with the oceans. Okay. You have the mountains and the oceans. Hmm. You've got heights and depths, dude. Wow. In this next cycle here. Let's see. The next 6 months for you here. All right, let's see. I'm going to start reading here from the book. It's interesting, the girl in both of them. Or is it kind of like the same girl, maybe? The same man. Okay. Yeah. All right. Mountain. Clarity. There is an advantage to looking at things from a higher perspective. You are too close to see something clearly, properly, and clearly. Take the high road. Look at the big picture. Are you making too big of a deal of something? Words of power. I can't read. Yeah, never mind. Okay. The high places we've always been places of sacredness and clarity. While mountains are often inaccessible, they are places of profound beauty where the gods themselves reside and heavenly realms began. For the Greek gods, it was Mount Olympus; for the Vulcans, Mount Etna; Mount Ida in Turkey for Cybele; Mauna Kea for Pele; Blanca Peak as the home of the Dawn Man for the Navajo; Mount Kilimanjaro for the Chaga god Rua; and Mount Meru, while Mount Meru is a direct reflection of and the center of all creation. I've heard of Mount Kailash. It's also important. Sacred mountains exist as energies that provide all that people might need. For example, both Mount Taranaki in New Zealand and Mount Kailash in Tibet are considered to be the source of 4 rivers that bless every person, plant, and animal. Oh, yeah, okay. Mount Kailash is sacred to the Jain, Buddhist, Hindu, and Bon and has never been climbed because it is a site of devout pilgrimage. Temples and other religious places, including hermitages, have often been built on the mountain ranges. The contemplative energy and purity of the environments have been contributors to this. Escaping from the mainstream of people to seek silence and going high where few go are aspects of gaining a higher perspective. Mountains remind us that we can look at the minutiae of the world more purely and from a higher vantage point. In the mountains, our troubles seem tiny and insignificant. Taking time away from too many opinions or pressures and trying to gain some simplicity and clarity should be done on a regular basis. Element Earth. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Now we're going to read also the Oceans card for you here. We have Oceans, Bravery. Go forth and explore. You won't see much if you keep the shore always in sight. Be brave in your choices. This is not the time to be fearful. Someone who is close to you has a hidden side, and it is best to be mindful of this in your decision making. Okay. Wait, there's like a warning attached to that one. All right. Someone close to you has a hidden side. Right. We know a lot about life on land, but we know very little about life in the world's oceans, which comprise 71% of the planet. We are still discovering new species, for instance, a flesh-eating sponge and a strange hairy crab, and we have only begun to explore the deep ocean. We possibly know more about space than we do about our own blue seas. The oceans are a great source of great richness in the form of marine life, and their very existence influences everything from the weather to where humans settled and lived. Ancient seagoing cultures, such as the Vikings and Polynesians, had an intimate relationship with the oceans, tides, trade winds, and stars, which enabled them to navigate the huge blue expanses. The bravery of such cultures, leaving the sight of land, venturing and navigating outwards towards the often unknown destinations, is considerable and a testament to the spirit of adventure, human spirit of adventure and curiosity. The sea has been integral to our very humanness, sustaining us and allowing us to travel, trade, and learn. It is a part of our DNA, yet in our busy lives we often overlook its importance. Because of this disconnection to the birthplace of life on this planet, has become a garbage dump through acidification, pollution, overfishing, and habitat destruction. We do know that without the oceans, life cannot exist on this planet, and that the oceans are in trouble. Ocean-based magic, like all water magic, concerns itself with the cycles of movement in the forms of stagnancy and flow, prosperity, and emotional balance. The element of water. All right. Interesting here. So there's something for you about the theme of getting out to explore the world, of being a bit brave, to get out of maybe your current perspective and get maybe a higher vantage point here. So this could actually be one possible suggestion or indication here. Could be getting like travel for the sake of getting a change of perspective here. Yeah, or just something bravery or whatever, and just in general, something to expand your horizons a little bit, to get maybe a different perspective on the minutia of your daily life here. Right. But anyway, I'm going to pull some more cards. I'm going to start shuffling this deck here, and we're going to add more context and details to this message. So what's the next 6 months here? What's the themes for pile number 2? Themes for the next 6 months. Okay. Nothingness. Yeah. One more. Keep seeing a bunch that want to jump out. They're not jumping. No. Oh, that a whole bunch fell on the floor. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I had a whole bunch of difficulty kind of getting that to that energy there. And my headphones turned themselves off. A whole bunch of cards fell on the floor. Yeah, that was kind of funny. But um, kind of interestingly, so we pulled out in the end this morality card here, um, and it's kind of next to the nothingness, which so this is normally the Hierophant, but in this deck it's got quite a like different implication here. It's kind of got a bit more of like a no mind kind of implication, whereas this would be the Queen of Swords, but in this deck it's kind of very much like belief systems and a lot of like shoulds and shouldn'ts and like what you're allowed to do, what you should and shouldn't do, what you shouldn't, how you should and shouldn't be. And it can feel very like heavy and like it's sort of forced on you by others or by society and forced on you. So there might be actually an energy here of you being brave enough to defy maybe a little bit of some of what people might like expect from you here. Mm-hmm. Because I was getting a lot of like resistance to even pull that message out in a way, which for me that's a bit energetically meaningful. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we got this Eight of Swords here. So that's kind of backing up a little bit like what I was saying here. It's kind of under this clarity card. So this Eight of Swords is like the idea of so this is like you being sort of like mentally like blindfolded, like you don't see like you she's blindfolded and tied up. She feels maybe restricted or trapped in a certain like way here. What she doesn't see is like she actually kind of has this sword here and could free herself, but it's just about having that higher perspective. With the eagle here, it's symbolizing interestingly because it's clarifying under this mountains card, which is talking about like getting a higher perspective on something. And this talks, especially with like the morality, like and like things that other people impose on you can feel very restricting. But maybe if you get a little bit of distance and a higher perspective on it, and maybe a little bit of bravery to speak your mind or something in a way, you might see that like the limitations of other people's expectations or perspective um, don't actually limit you as much. You can free yourself from that. You can defy their expectations actually as needed. I'm going to clarify the bravery card. Clarify the bravery card here. Oh, oh, interesting. The lovers. Aha. So now this could be both like this could be manifesting for you either internally or externally or both. Um, so the lovers kind of represents like a major life choice or life direction, or yes, could also be a which can be also manifest is in the like choosing a partner, like in that sense, an actual external person to start a relationship with. Or it could just be like internally, like representing something here of mm, making a certain yeah like this is it represents like making major like life choices here. So this could be like making some like bold brave steps here in a direction of choosing your own self and choosing your freedom here. And the High Priestess. So this I'll clarify under the nothingness. So this is kind of connecting into that like space where you just sort of like know. You just have a certain knowing, like really, if when you kind of get to the core of it, like when you're not like being, you know, like having everyone else whispering in your ear or yelling at you what to do, telling you what to do, like kind of at your core, at the silence of yourself, like you know what's right and what's wrong choices for you to make, right? Um, Especially if you take the time enough to get enough like higher perspective on your life, right? Like it will kind of come to you, and if it's not, like you just need to get meditate a little bit, sit with that, because the inner note, it's like an inner knowing kind of energy right there. Um, Especially when it comes to like making these like major like life choices, like one more card here to clarify that last spot. One more card. Um, okay. Queen of Cups. Yeah, that's nice. So that's kind of in contrast to this like kind of really dry energy. This Queen of Swords in this deck is especially dry, prunish. Like look at her face. Like I don't know, the sort of dried up by her, tied up by her own sort of sense of morality there, and this is kind of like kind of very connected to the heart, and it kind of connects also with the idea of the oceans and the bravery here. So it's kind of like follow your heart. Just follow your heart. Just listen to your heart. You know. Um, Ultimately, instead of like the restrictions or the sort of morality of like what's kind of expected to you and pressured onto you, like kind of listen to your heart first and foremost. It's kind of the advice here, and the theme that you're going to be going on here in the next 6 months. It's kind of kind of looks fun actually. It's like expanding your horizons a bit with the bravery, right? Maybe trying something new, stepping a little bit out of your comfort zone, but in like a way that's like not anything pressured onto you by anyone else, but like what makes like your heart sing, like when you want to what yeah, like exploring the callings of your own heart in a way. Yeah, I don't know, I think that's really nice. um yeah, you just have to, it's a certain level of self-trust, but that kind of comes through taking like just the space and distance to and get a little bit of perspective on your life here with the mountain card. Because you get that high from that higher perspective, you can get the freedom from this here, and you could tune into this energy, your inner knowing, a lot more, and then follow your heart when you're making these choices. Okay, that's all I have for you. Thank you very much, pile number 2. I hope this was helpful, meaningful, interesting, any of that. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching. If you're watching all this way, please hit the like button. Feel free to leave a comment. I always like reading your comments. And yeah, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Welcome. And hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye. Hello to those of you who chose pile number 3 with this money bags here. So here we have from the Elemental Oracle deck an oracle card for your sort of overall theme, and then I'm going to read a little bit from the booklet about that card for you, and then I'm going to pull some tarot cards live to add some more detail and context to this. So you have alchemy with magic. Ooh, so you're going to have a very magical 6 months here. Yeah, and it's got the hand, so it's like the magic. The magic is kind of in your hands here, which is really nice. All right, so read from this book here first. Excuse me. It says alchemy. There's a magic to be found everywhere if you look for it. You are the magic. Magic is not a miracle, although sometimes it can feel like that. Doubt kills more dreams than failure. Have faith in your ability and weave together all the disparate pieces. See, yes, that's exactly what we're all about here at this channel. Lionheart Dreamweaving. You can weave your dreams into reality and create magic. You have the power. Okay, As a witch, I am often asked what magic is. It is a hard question to answer, and almost every practitioner who claims to work with magic would have a unique definition. For what it is worth, I see magic as the weaving of energy towards a particular purpose and an alchemic synergistic process. Magic has at its heart participation and purpose. Magic is deliberate change. Real magic isn't some trick with a magician in a magic show, although I do believe casting it involves an element of faith and expertise. Faith, because we extend our own confidence and energy into a working, and expertise, as the ancient and modern recipes of incantation and ritual dictate. Spell casting does have rules, a skeleton, if you will. You need a clear purpose and intention, and you need to be able to raise power to release it in a focused way, and then take a physical step to start the transformation. Magic is commonly extended to heal, attract, repel, protect, lighten, and clear the way. And all workings with intention such as these have a layered set of instructions and combinations of elements to make them effective. These might include specialized timings that include the seasons or moon cycles, words of power and certain thought forms, elements that are all organized into a set that will influence time, space, atoms, thoughts, and electricity. Magic is a doing word, a working, a process. Magic to me doesn't exclude science. In fact, it is a part of science, probably influencing it at an atomic level. That we don't know exactly how all this works doesn't make it incorrect or fantasy. After all, scientists are still trying to work out dark matter. Elements, fire and air. All right. So, something about something magic. Yes, there's something here. The concept being basically about a certain level of intentionality, and yeah, to create a willful change in your life here. Right. The magic kind of almost implies to us, like if we think of it in common parlance, it would kind of imply doing the impossible, sort of, right? Or influencing things like simply with your will, right? In a way that seems mysterious, almost to the rational mind. But anyway, let's see here. What do we have? Oh, wow. Okay, integration. I'm sorry. Look at the hands, though. That's so cool. I love that. I love when this happens. Like, this is why I like shuffling live sometimes. But like, yeah, look at that. It's like, how can you like see the two hands here, and then there's two hands like it's holding this thing here. All right. So for you, a huge about part of this magic, or like how you're gonna access your magic, or like the cycle here for you is about like integration, integrating parts of yourself, right? So you have here the feminine, the masculine side, and the feminine side. Your divine masculine, your divine feminine. So also, this is going to be especially like what you're attracted to a lot, traits you're attracted to a lot in others, especially like if you like romantically or sort of like that as well. Like those are things, parts of yourself that you need to integrate as well in yourself, like the traits you admire most in others. Um, Especially so if you're on the more feminine side, the masculine traits you admire in others, you can integrate into yourself, and then that kind of enhances your magical ability, and then vice versa. If you're masculine, that though the feminine traits you admire in others, you integrate into yourself, and that enhances your magic ability. Okay, because there's this yin yang here about like bringing the yin and the yang into balance, kind of within yourself there. And it's creating all this like magical energy. I do qigong. This is kind of reminds me of this as well. This kind of helps for like balancing that feminine energy for me. Yeah. Well, okay. We spilled a whole lot of cards there, but these two fell out. Maybe we'll keep those two. Interesting. So you got the Fool and Suppression kind of came out together. So there could be an energy here of like something of like part of you like wanting to take a leap into something new, into this Fool energy, and then part of you like you feel that being like suppressed, right? Or that being like feeling like hard to do here. But maybe we could clarify that some more. Yeah. Oops, I bumped the camera. So, because the Fool would be like taking a leap into a new cycle here. The suppression, this is the Ten of Wands, so this actually would be like indicating like you would want to be, or indicating like the end of a cycle, perhaps, or because it's the 10, so like it's like the last one before the end of a cycle. But the thing is, like, this is like especially a harsh one. This is like like the suppression energy is like a really like tricky one to get out of. It's like of course, like you do need to end that cycle, and it kind of builds up this like infinite like exponential amount of pressure on you, because it's kind of like urging your soul, like your soul's kind of like urging you to like break out of the old cycles of your life, right? And the old like things limiting you and holding you back there. Um, Uh, and it's actually kind of funny because there's a little bit of a directionality to this reading in a way, almost because like if you look like this sort of breaking down, breaking out, the Fool energy jumps off the cliff like into this color, like the color of the horizon. The colors are kind of beautiful, like coming from here into this thing, magic energy over on this side. But yeah, I'm gonna start to I'm gonna put this lower row here from this other deck. Clarify the magic card first. Give me the magic card. This is theme for the next 6 months here. Okay, so it's something, interesting. So it's like also with like love in a way, or like being able to give and receive love, or like the flow of love. The kind of, because this is like the just allowing love to like flow freely in a way, like and like that being part of the magic, like yeah. Oh, that really flipped out. Okay, so this is a death card. Actually, but it's interesting because this is like kind of on the rebirth side of it already. So this would be like the death side of it, like going through a death cycle. But like you're kind of like already maybe on the rebirth, or like this is maybe something like you've gone through this experience recently, like in your previous cycle. Like maybe this is like maybe you got the Fool card came out first because this is maybe the cycle of suppression is already like in the past for you, and like now your new cycle is like on the rebirth side, where you're coming into like better like integration with yourself, and you're reaching this place of like your new cycle is like experiencing this like level of magic, um, when you're able to just be in the flow like of this like love, like the nature of reality kind of is love in this way, right? And when you can get out of the things that are suppressing that, and you can experience it a lot more profoundly in that way. That comes through this like process of like integration and healing with yourself, right? Those inner elements. And then one more to clarify on this right hand side, suppression. Where's suppression? Let's see there. One more card. We got this. This is the King of Wands here. He's got his back to us. I don't know exactly what that means yet. Okay, I'm gonna take these. Because this is the same card here. And I got 3, but I'm gonna take them because it seems that it took me a little while to pull those cards out. So I was thinking there's a reason for that. And I came in the end. So you got these. This is going to be the same card here. So this is why I took it. But this is both the ten of wands here. So this is like the burden that needs to be dropped here. Um, Interesting. You got so many cards in a row, 4 cards in a row here, and all of them have this dark sky here as the theme. Like this, is not, and you see, not all the cards are like that. Like this is very bright. This is very bright. Like a lot of the cards here are bright. Like, but like you have four in a row here that have this like really dark side theme. And like this card, like for example, like this card has a daylight side, but no, you got it on the dark side. All of them are dark, so that's important. Um, So this could have been like going through a really dark time, for sure. Especially because I was using clarify the suppression card here. So this is like really some heavy energy. But luckily it looks like looking like it was in the past here. But yeah, it's like also like there's like this 8 of Cups, which is like this like moving away energy. This like emotional like yeah, having to walk away from something that's been like not working emotionally. And but yeah, this kind of like, but interestingly it has this like child here sitting and like making a wish on a star here for kind of something better. This like there's like this lovers card is about choices, major life choices, but especially like in relationships, or like this could be especially like in regards to some like relationship or like love interest or something. Not necessarily, it doesn't have to be, but um kind of getting the vibe that's something to do with that, but or just like how you like relate with people. But anyway, there's like this like ending of a really heavy like negative cycle here. Um, and it's kind of come out on the other end here. So now I understand. Before I was like, well, what's going on with the King of Wands with his back to us? But now I get it. So it's yeah, this. Uh, so interestingly, it came really interesting. So I like this metaphor, is this imagery here, because he's carrying these 10 wands, these 10 logs here, it's really heavy on his back. It's really burdensome, and he's like suffering. It's like crushing him. Wow, look at the imagery. Wow, I'm really excited about this. Like, okay, look, it's like because on both of his cards, like this is like this is like crushing down on his back. This is like crushing down on his back. These heavy, these wands here, but like, look what he did with these wands, man. Wow, he like built his throne with these wands. Like this, all of this like heavy shit from this previous cycle, like the things like that kind of like were crushing you. It was like kind of transforming those into like pillars of wisdom on which you construct your throne to like for your next cycle, right? So you have this like strong basis of like you can trust your like inner self a lot more. Like you kind of like evolve to this level of like being like the King of Wands here. Like if you look like this kind of guy, he's like got this like it's like a peasant sort of like he's doing the work, but yeah, he's like got this peasant energy. But like you've evolved from that like into this king here. Like you look at this, the colors of the clothing are the same, right? But you did that like through like the hard work of like that previous cycle. You built now this throne. On which like your wisdom is like resting, that you could like make this like leap into this new cycle here. You've like gone through this death process, like integrating all those like new lessons of like you can integrate those things with yourself, and then you're entering this new cycle of just magic. So wow, oh sorry, oh that was a little bit to unravel on that other side there. But actually I'm reading, interestingly, like I'm reading this like right to left in a way, like if you want to say it was like chronological, like because this like looks like you're coming out of this cycle, like taking a leap into this, and like integrating all the like thing lessons and stuff from the previous cycle, and in that process like your life becomes magic and like flowing with this love energy, like all that's like flowing and open, and you don't have it on this dark side. Like this is the dark side, like you're moving like over here, this is all dark, and then you come to here and it's like the death process. You go through the death and it's like a new sun, a new dawn arises here, and it's like full sunlight on this side. You're on, and here you're like in the day, like in the light, on the light side of life again, and like life feels like magic and everything's flowing and it's beautiful. And you just have to like stay in alignment and flow with it and like stay in integration with yourself here. That's the secret. And wow, I'm really happy for you because like you've done the work here. Yeah, so that's beautiful. Yeah, thank you very much for listening to this. If that resonated with you, if it was meaningful or interesting to you in some way, please like the video and feel free to leave comments. I always like to read your comments. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Please subscribe. And I will see you again sometime. Probably, maybe. Yeah, bye. Hello, pile number 4. Those of you who chose this dog. And welcome to your Eclipse cycle reading. In other words, your 6-month energy reading. Here we're going to have first Elemental Oracle card to give kind of like an overall energy here, and then we're going to go, well, I'll read from the booklet here about this one, and then we'll go into some like live shuffling and interpretation from there. Okay. You have fire. Ooh, nice. Pretty appropriate. We just moved into the fire horse here. We're moving into a fiery cycle here. It says ignition. Interesting. It's a remix to Ignition, hot and fresh out the kitchen. I'm sorry. not relevant. Anyway, fire. Ignition. Live your passion. Allow your spirit to drive you forward. Don't overthink the situation. Now is the time to innovate and take action. Be a lighthouse for others or find yourself a mentor. Okay. It is said that Prometheus was asked by Zeus to create man. Humans were formed with clay and made of water and earth and were fashioned in God's image, unlike other animals. However, these new beings seemed quite helpless. No fur, no big teeth, and few skills. Prometheus felt sorry for mankind and asked Zeus if fire could be given to them. Prometheus knew that fire would allow the men to grow and thrive and would be totally transformational to their life and survival. Stealing it meant that all art and skills would only blossom with fire, and mankind would grow stronger with fire when used for cooking and warmth. Prometheus crept into Zeus's own hearth, and lighting a small flame within a stalk of a giant fennel, took the fire and escaped. He gave mankind the small fiery spark that all others have been lit from. While man prospered, Prometheus did not. So precious was fire to Zeus that Prometheus was given the grisly perpetual punishment of Zeus's own eagle eating out his liver daily, having it grow back overnight and then the whole thing starting again the next day. Fire is an element of profound significance. We cook with it, transform things from inedible to edible, transforming things from inedible to edible. It provides light and protection, and it was the difference between freezing or not freezing. We burn incenses and plant medicines for pleasure, healing, and spiritual significance. We hold fire so sacred that the perpetual flames that were part of the honoring of many deities through the time the world over. The fire element is the one that motivates and inspires us. It is action-oriented and light, so those who like to utilize the fire element are innovative and quick thinkers, and they get things done. Fire is linked with love and passion and is often used as an elemental magic in spells to attract such a partner. It is traditionally corresponds with the element of the east, although in the southern hemisphere it is aligned with the element of the north. Okay. So, interesting. So, something about connecting with your fire, connecting with your passions, your spirit, what's inspiring you, being driven forward. A cycle of this for the 6 months. All right, let's see. Pull some more cards here. Verify for pile number 4, 6 months. 6-month cycle. 6 months. What kind of energies are relevant to them? What kind of energy? Beyond illusion. The outsider. Okay. All right, and 2 of these actually popped up, so I'll put them together. We'll interpret them together in a way. They kind of look like they go together. They have the same color theme going on here. Adventure and creativity. All right. Yeah, so that's interesting. So I'm looking first of all at the color themes, and like first what I see is like with this fire here, the yellow, like the big yellow thing I'm seeing here primarily is this butterfly. It's kind of like finding that like fire, the inspiration, or that inspiration like coming to you, or like something like accessing that, like getting the downloads or something like that, like right. This is a flame here, which is interesting because it's like the fire element, and you're seeing this kind of third eye as like the flame here. So this is like connecting to those like higher inspirations here. Like this is like getting like the fire of your soul. Like the butterfly also kind of represents to be like a soul, your soul, right? So it's like it's not just like fire, because fire could like be interpreted many ways. You could also have like, I don't know, maybe like destructive or like carnal passion. But for me, this is kind of like a refined sort of like sense of like inspiration, like vision in a way. So like coming from like the soul directly in a way. Yeah. And even like this kind of here almost looks like a compass to me. This circle here. Yeah, so it's kind of like a sense of direction coming from that. But then on this side, so what's all this energy over here? So we have like this is like inner child wounds, I would say, like perhaps. So you have like the outsiders kind of like feeling like this is a part of you that's like wounded and feeling like left out of things, right? Like feeling shut out from life, right? Like yeah, and it's like because this is he's feeling like gated out. Like the rainbow is like off in the distance, like this mystery here, this adventure. Because like on this card you have here, this is actually really nicely how these cards came together. Because you have the child on both cards here. This adventure card, they're kind of going. They get to go off having their adventures here. It's like there's like it's gated, they're blocked, and they're kind of wanting to go, like wistfully wanting to go, but they're like feeling blocked, right? This is like the wounded child here, and then this is like the healed version of it, right? Uh, yeah, and this is like, and it's connecting with this creativity here. Oh, I get it. The fire with it. Yeah, connecting. This is like creative energy here. Yeah, getting those like down. Wow, it's beautiful. Oh, okay. So yeah, I see what's going on here. So this being in the center, this being the center card here, so that's kind of the crux or the core issue for you here. So being the blockage here, creativity was these like inner child wounds here, but it's like you're like finding like you're going through the cycle of like that healing or being able to like overcome those things, right? Like to get past that gate here, because the trick of this card or like the secret of this card, right, has always been like that the gates are the lock is not really locked. Like okay, if we get like real close and zoom in here, like you see the lock is not actually locked, and if the child actually just steps back and like looks at the thing, he could actually just open that, like take the lock off, untie the chains, open the gate, and go on to that adventure. But it's just that change of perspective. It's just a change of perspective because this gate is actually an illusion. Like the blockage, like the inner child wounding here, it's like it feels like insurmountable, but that's actually an illusion. The gate feels unpassable. My headphones. Okay. Yeah, my headphones died right when I said that. Funny. Yeah, so the gate feels insurmountable and unpassable, but that's actually an illusion, and you can like learn to see beyond that and pass that thing and just go on, like go for it, like go for your dreams, like go for the adventure, like connect to your creativity, like you know what I mean, follow those inspirations. Yeah. So I'm still gonna pull some other cards here to clarify, although that was already like quite a reading, quite a coherent from start to finish. All right, so you have a Three of Wands here. So again, that's emphasizing the theme of like seeing your vision there, seeing a creative vision. Oh, okay, and then you got here, so the Knight of Pentacles. So that's gonna be like putting in the work there. So it's gonna be like a step-by-step kind of thing. Like the Knight of Pentacles is like the slowest knight, but it's like if you like put in the work, like step by step, brick by brick, like you do manifest your vision and end up like achieving something, kind of like a project or something. Like, but it's like finding a creative vision and then putting in the work to actually like do it just step by step, right? Page of Swords there. So, okay, hold on, that's under the outsider. One sec. Maybe I'll just see if I can pull the last card. Okay. Yeah. All right. So we have Page of Swords here under the outside of the Five of Pentacles. Then we have High Priestess and Eight of Cups. Okay. So, because this Eight of Cups, this kind of reminds me, this particular side of the Eight of Cups, I always kind of say it's kind of like this inner child, this wounded inner child, and it's like wishing upon a star. Right. The Eight of Cups is typically this journey of like doing this like emotional process of like letting go. Yeah, so it's kind of like sitting there like wishing on a star for a solution, but the thing is like the solution's like kind of all along been like in yourself with the High Priestess here. It's like you kind of have the keys like within you, like all along right here. The sort of secrets to the thing. And it sort of just lies in like that because it's kind of the key to the gate. Like you even had the key like all along. You could have unlocked this like all along, but it's just this like inner child healing process to like yeah see beyond illusions of the things blocking you here. And so it all comes down to on this line here, this vertical line with the Page of Swords and the outsider. So there's like this wounding around like communication, like expression, yeah, like your thought process, like how you're communicating and expressing yourself. Um, right. So yeah, this could be like a vision for like a project, maybe like something on social media, something of like having a platform, having some form of creative expression. I specifically say social media because it's the Page of Swords. Yeah, so that's kind of it has a lot to do with communication and Aquarius energy, media, like yeah, that kind of thing. Putting digital things in this age, yeah. But it could be any kind of creative form of expression, project, whatever. But yeah, it's something about um, like being willing to just kind of take the steps to put in the work to like build the thing and like realize that like even if you start as the page, like you can't like you have to go on that journey anyway. Like that's an unavoidable part of the journey, but like it's fine. Like it's you know what I mean. It's just part of the adventure. And if you just take the steps, like the Knight of Pentacles, like do like one after another, eventually you do arrive to like manifesting this like vision here for yourself, like with whatever it is with the The Three of Wands here. Yeah. And yeah, it's just something about like you're finding your way to express like your creativity because you have it bookended here, like the fire energy with the creativity on this other end. Yep. So that's nice. I hope that's helpful, meaningful, or at least entertaining. Yeah, to you for watching this. Thank you for watching this, and yeah, please like the video if you liked it, and leave a comment if you're interested, because I'm always interested to read your comments. And if you're new, subscribe. Please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hello, pile number 5. Those of you who chose this car. Yeah, we're gonna do your Eclipse portal energy reading, and in other words, the themes for the next 6 months, energetically for you here. So first, we're gonna have this elemental oracle card. I'm gonna read from the booklet a little bit first, and then I will start clarifying it with tarot cards. Yeah. So I have for you here comfort, the hearth. Okay, so let's see here. A baby, and a dog. Oh, just all that goes in these. Maybe something to do with focus on like home or family life. Comfort, feeling comfortable. All right, let's see. Take some time out to rest and regenerate. Know what makes you comfortable. Keep the home fires burning. Create a peaceful and beautiful home life. Nourishing the mind, body, and spirit is important at this time. Focus on the inner life. For our ancestors, the hearth or home fire was the heart of the home. A fire always burned there, ready for warmth or cooking. The hearth fire was stoked carefully and rarely allowed to go out, as it was a source of comfort for all, and often a place where family and friends would meet. The city temple of the goddess Vesta in Rome was considered the sacred heart of the city, and was where the foculus, or hearth, was contained. There was a fire that burned at the sacred heart of the city and its territories. A second fire, one of protection, was also within the temple. Vesta's temple was one of the only places of worship to be circular in design and was completely covered to protect the holy flame from being snuffed out by the weather. The saying, "keep the home fires burning," was inspired by this practice. In Rome, husbands were often sent away on military duty for years on end. However, their wives were expected not just to keep the home and often business running, but to faithfully wait for their husbands until they returned. Vesta was the goddess to whom to pray to ensure the family member's safe return and keep the fires of love stoked. In these busy times, it is important to focus on a place where you can feel safe and comfortable. While many of us don't have a literal hearth, the home, whatever that is, should be a place created to inspire peace and nourishment. The element of fire. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, so it's about, cycle of that self-nourishing. Keep in having that nourishing environment. Maybe even being able to provide that to others, you know? But first and foremost, yourself and your family. Let's see. It's too many cards. I'm going to take all of that. I'm going to start pulling some tarot cards for you here. Let's see, pile number 5. Let's clarify the heart card. Clarify the heart. What is their 6 months? Oh, all right. Yeah, those really jumped out. Okay. Guidance and patience. Okay, that's very chill. Just being very patient and just listening to the guidance, waiting for guidance as it comes. Hold on, let me show you this a little closer because there may be a glare on when I want to card it. Yeah, so look at the guidance here. These kind of look like the same woman, actually, interestingly here. Uh, yeah, but and there's like this angel of guidance kind of, and they kind of have the same rainbow color. So this is the Three of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles, but in this card it's a little bit different. Little bit different themes. Guidance and patience. Interesting. So maybe, yeah, it's like just kind of like laying low, at like taking care of your home and your routines and being patient. Now, this potentially could be even the growing of a family for some of you, if that resonates with your situation. If not, like maybe that message for someone else. But there's like a baby and a pregnant woman here. I can't help but notice that. So that could potentially be one thing for some of you, growing of your family here. Yeah, and then for others of you, it can just be this here, this like breakthrough of awareness. All right, these are the other two cards that came. Breakthrough and awareness. So you have, this is the Chariot, this would be 7, and this is 11, that would be Justice. But yeah, those are, it's not necessarily related to those. Yeah, this is kind of an energy of just like keeping the home fires stoked and a cycle, waiting out the cycle patiently and like finding that guidance and like at some point there being like a level of like a breakthrough of like awareness. So there's also this fire here of the hearth and the fire sort of burning away this person here has this like veil of like, you can kind of say like this is the veil of the suffering mind or whatever, the experience of kind of suffering things, and then that burning away and there being this calm sort of Buddha self on the behind that, right? So it's kind of like a sort of breakthrough in awareness that like um, eliminates sort of the sense of struggling and suffering and stress about reality, and just sort of like a calmness and acceptance emerging from that. Like I like the, because like on this side, oh, oh, sorry. On this side here, like this guy here, he kind of looks like a bit like intense here. He's like maybe struggling or suffering a little bit, but he's like having a breakthrough. And there becomes like this new level of awareness, and like this sort of burns away, this sort of struggling, all this red energy, like this sort of burns away, right? And then emerges like, so you see like the kind of calmness on this face is here. It's like the same kind of calm face on the patience card here. So maybe like learning to just like have some kind of patience and go with the cycle here as well. We'll clarify these cards on the low rise. I clarify hearth first. Okay, we got the Four of Swords. That's a kind of like, again, that's doubling the theme of like rest. So maybe you're having a 6-month cycle of like, it's okay to also just be like resting your energies and maintaining the home fires here. Now, interestingly, like this is like a Four of Swords, but you actually got it on the, there's like a theme here. It's something with the fires here burning. Now, there's actually another message because this has a fire, this is a fire. This side of the card doesn't have a fire, but you got it on the side of the card that there's a fire in the background. So the theme here is actually with this particular Four of Swords, it's saying like, don't overextend your energy either. Like the fires that are off in the distance, like maybe there's like other people's problems, other people's lives are on fire, but it's maybe like, it's saying like, don't at this time like overextend yourself and go try and solve the whole world's problems. Like just focus on your home, your hearth, keep yourself good, rest and recuperate your energy, right? Don't go running off right now. It's not a cycle to be running off, trying to like put out other people's fires. Like just stay focused on your own domain here. Got the Six of Cups. And again, there's like a kind of home in this picture, which is interesting. It's kind of like a positive, nice energy here. Guidance. So it's kind of like, oh, these three exploded out of the deck here. All right. So, I guess this is a bit of like a warning here, or like maybe like what you're kind of having to like, yeah, I guess like getting this breakthrough about, because there's a lot of like tense energy over on this side here. You got this Five of Wands, Nine of Swords, so it's a conflict and like mental anxiety about it. And then you got the Temperance card here with it's kind of being on this is a bit of like nicer sort of pleasant side of the Temperance card, but this side of the Temperance card is a bit more dire in a way. It's like even the color scheme is a bit more like, but and it's kind of like, it's like a bit of a warning energy, this one, saying like, yeah, kind of just like, this would be a cycle for you also to really just focus on yourself, mind your own business, keep your own domain. Like, don't get too much involved in like other people's stuff. In a way, like, you know, if other people want to have conflict, like maybe you can just like step away from it and focus on your own stuff. You don't have to like, yeah, get involved in like trying to put out other people's fires. And um this would be a kind of time to like try to like avoid the conflicts of the world, I would say, like as much as possible. Like, don't take on anything that's not necessary for yourself. And then, you know, and then just yeah, just kind of chill and take rest, rejuvenate for your next cycle, kind of patiently wait. You'll be getting like kind of guidance and downloads and breakthroughs and awareness at this time through this next 6 months. But the key thing is for you, there's like a big warning here. There's a big warning, I gotta say, of like avoiding unnecessary conflict. It'll just bring you like unnecessary mental anguish. You don't need none of that. You don't need none of that. You don't need none of this Nine of Swords. Not your worries. Unnecessary. Like, you need this Four of Swords. You need this rest from worries. So if people try and bring like needless conflict to your door, like, you can just like reject that. Like, kindly be like, no, thank you. Like, this guy, it's kind of interesting. This is the Six of Cups here. Like this, kind of like this. Usually, this sort of this friendly, like kind energy. But on this side, it's like at nighttime, or there's like a guy coming out on the balcony. It's like I kind of show you this better. Yeah. He's kind of got like a stern father energy. Like, he's got his like arms on his like crossed on, or not. He's got the arms on his let me say that, like on his hips there. He kind of, yeah. Um, kind of got this like, hey, get not in my, don't bring that energy to my house kind of energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's kind of like putting up a boundary there, like, not in my house. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, so it's kind of like putting it's like a kind of boundary here on this lower road. Like, you got this conflict, all this stuff, all this anxiety. You got like a wall where it's like, not in my house. You know, you don't bring that here, right? That's kind of a choice that of you as well too. Like, is maybe like what you're learning in this cycle is like how to just disengage from that, and like you're having a breakthrough like with this kind of like red or energy on this side here, like with the Temperance, like that you're learning how you can just kind of disengage from those like unnecessary conflicts, and just like focus on your own little world here. And that's actually okay to do, because you're going in a cycle here of like rest or rejuvenation, um, and comfort, taking care of yourself, self-care, and then getting those like guidance and downloads for the coming for the future here. Okay. Yeah. So I hope that is helpful. And yeah, I hope that was helpful or entertaining for you. And if you like this video, please click the like button, and please leave comments down below, because I always like reading your comments. And subscribe if you're new to the channel. Welcome. And I'll see you around some other time. Bye.